crafty friends, this is Jenny from crafttestdummies.com and welcome to a craft countdown today. Today we're talking with Lisa Fulmer, the author of the new book Craft Your Stash and the owner of Lisa Liza Lou blog. Lisa, thanks for joining us today.
Hey Jenny, how are you?
I'm great. And I want to say I love what your tagline says, that you're an ardent artist and a chronic crafter. Tell us about your crafting habits.
Well, I love alliterations, clearly.
Yes.
But no, I have a little of both influences. I kind of like blurring the lines between art and craft. My mom, has been a fine artist, and I grew up with crafters in my family. And I don't know, I like blurring the line a little bit. I know there's a distinct difference between fine art and crafting, but whenever I can do a little of both, I'm really happy. And I don't like people to get too hung up on not feeling like an artist, and whether or not they're allowed to call themselves an artist or a crafter. You can call yourself both. It took me forever to call my studio a studio. It was like, oh, it was my craft room. I'm not allowed to call it a studio. So that's where I like a little of each, and my habits go back and forth between things that are more painterly and things that are more cardboard and chipboardly.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you. And I really do appreciate that, because as somebody who also kind of straddles the line in both worlds, I think we need to be more welcoming of crafters into, embracing the artistic self.
Yeah.
So let's hop right into our craft countdown today. And for number 5, you chose 5 words that describe you or your crafting.
Okay, so I don't have the scripted, but 5 words I thought of were crazy, a little bit crazy. Can I repeat each word with like a little bit? Crazy and eclectic and technique-oriented, technique-driven, curious, and fun. That really describes kind of both me and my work, I think. Yeah, there's my 5. Did I do 5?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, crazy, eclectic, curious, fun, and whatever the 5th one was.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, so then for 4, tell me 4 reasons you craft. And now I'll keep track. Yeah.
Stress, for one. It really does save me stress-wise. It really gets you in the zone. It empties out your brain. Creativity, just creative expression is 2. It's just so important to have something, no matter what it is. If you're creative with a spreadsheet or if you're creative with glitter, just creative expression is so important. Community, I adore people like you and all of our designers in the industry and all of the people online. I had no idea how many doors that would open up and how welcoming and supportive that would be. And then I love coming up with something new, something different, I just like the process of thinking about something and then seeing and then making it happen.
Permanence, like making something permanent.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's temporary, but it's just that process. I just love that process of seeing something or having like this little vision and then actually bringing it to fruition. You kind of design it in your head and you think about it, and it could be something really, really simple or it could be something more complex. But I love that process. In crafting, there's a lot of that because there's so much diversity in materials, and there's so many different ways, whether it's a DIY home thing or just a small little gewgaw that sits on your shelf or something to wear. That's what I like about it.
That's awesome. Cool beans. All right. So for number 3, we had 3 creative people that inspire you.
Yeah, there's so many. It was so hard to come up with just 3, but I'm very inspired by just by all the people that we both know and love. I'm inspired by the craft celebrities, Mark and Tiffany and Margot and Kathy and all those people, and Kathy and Steve and you, and so I'm very inspired by that industry, that group at large. I was very inspired by my godparents, my aunt and uncle. One of my uncles deceased, but they were lapidarists, and they made jewelry, and they did a lot of crafting. And as I grew up, boy, they inspired me a lot. And I'm realizing that more now than I did then. as a kid or even as a young adult. And then I guess the third person who really inspires me, I gotta hand it to two of my crafty besties, Angela Daniels and Andrea Curry. They both, I don't know, they just keep me laughing, and even though they kind of go in and out of their own, and Andrea, is just now starting to feel well enough to get back to crafting after being ill, and Angela just thinks blogging is over. So we've been fighting about getting her to start blogging again. It's a funny little thing between us, but they're just inspiring because they're funny and they're creative, and they just keep me feeling happy.
So tell me, this is going to be a hot button topic. Are you ready, Lisa? Because we have a lot of comments on this one. I can just tell. I can feel it coming. What are two craft trends that you think are over, that you do not want to see anymore?
I am so happy that some toilet paper company came up with the coreless tissue paper roll. I know people are just like aghast at the possibility of having to buy toilet paper rolls at Michael's or whatever and not being able to save them from their bathrooms. But
you're done with toilet paper crafts?
Yeah, I never was really into toilet paper crafts. I love me some chipboard. I do. Yeah. And I love me some gift card holders. I do. But I just hate toilet paper rolls. For some reason, it just grosses me out. And one time I had to do a toilet paper roll craft for a client, and I actually cheated and used a paper towel roll. For some reason, I felt better about that. I don't know why. I guess one of the things that I wish would be over is the limitations that people feel like, especially between crafting disciplines. People who are into paper and glue are like no to fabric, and people who are really into fabric are like no to paper and glue. And I just wish that people were more open to trying new things with different materials. And there are most people are, but there are the few that are just so completely ingrained in that one thing. And I think that's awesome. Go for what you love, but I just want to see more. I don't know. I just want people to open up a little bit more and try new things.
Reaching out.
Yeah, because they end up loving it. Every time I teach a class like painting on fabric, and it's mostly paper crafters, they're just like, oh my God, they're just so thrilled by a few simple techniques for painting on fabric. And so you see it, you see the light behind their eyes when they try something new. And I don't know if it's the fear of having to buy more stuff, which I totally get that, or what, but I want people to hoard more stash and then craft with it for obvious reasons.
All right, well, the one thing we're going to talk about is your big bragging point. Go!
But I'm very excited about it. It's a great book, and what I think is really cool about it is that it's all about using what you have. It's not an anti-shopping book. We all have a ton of stuff, and we all buy a ton of stuff without having really any idea what we're going to do with it. And it's so awesome to look at Pinterest and to get all these ideas and to get inspired, and then you got to go out and buy the stuff that you've just been inspired to make, right? And that's awesome. I get that. But why don't you go to your own closet, open the doors, and inspire yourself right there, And so I encourage people to challenge themselves to go and find something in your stash, dig it out, and think about it, and then create something with it. And that's what the book is about. It's about making dents in your stash. So every project focuses on one type of stash, whether it's buttons or glitters or paints or fabrics or papers or whatever it is, and you create a project that is doable. It's very beginner friendly, but that's also seasoned crafters would enjoy it as well. And so this is a little fabric wall hanging to make use of scraps. Just a fun, simple daisy pattern wrapped around a foam panel, easy peasy, but you can have some fun with your scraps that way. And I've got different ideas for greeting cards. So there's something for everybody. There's functional things like photo ornaments, and so each project is very gift worthy or very keepsake oriented. This is my favorite one that I think is really fun. I love taking all kinds of gewgaws, whether it's this is an old brooch, and it's actually just sitting in a little slot so that you could actually take it off and wear it. And then and then you can put it back in its home on the lid of this box. So I love making treasure boxes and adorning them with all sorts of, stray broken earrings or charms and, stuff that you buy a package of, you use one, and then you've got a bunch more sitting around.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for your insights today and for the show and tell from some of the things from your book. And I hope that everybody gets a chance to check out your book, maybe hop in on the blog hop. There it is. There's the plug. One more time.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found this helpful and informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you did not find it helpful, please, oh, thank you, Lisa, give us a reason why you give it a thumbs down, because we are always looking to refine the content that we create for you. And as always, we would love it if you subscribe to the channel and be with us for more craft countdowns, craft room confessionals, and tutorials and reviews and the like. In the meantime, you, Lisa, and everyone else out there, thank you so much and have a crafty day.